Okay, so at the top, you guys should have the one that says homework. This one already has the interest formulas written up there for you, so you don't have to write them down. Last Friday, we talked about what each of the variables mean. So just to refresh, simple interest, that I means interest. So when you are using this formula, that is what you are calculating, the interest. What does P stand for? Principal. What is principal? The starting amount or the original amount. All right, what is R?
Rate.
How do I write the rate?
0.03%.
As a decimal.
0.03.
So yeah, for the first one would be 0.03. And last, what is T? Time, and it has to be in years. Okay. So the only thing that's different about the compound interest formula is we have that A. Does anyone know what the A stands for? The total amount in the account. So the total amount means it's the principal and the interest together. Okay. So if it asks about the interest, you have to subtract out the principal. Okay, number one, Barbara has saved up $1,200 to put into a savings account for the next 4 years. So there's two pieces of important information. $1,200 is my what?
Principal.
Principal. What is for?
Time.
All right, she must choose between an account that earns either 3% simple interest or 3% annually compounded interest. So what is the rate that I'm going to be using? Mason said it earlier. 0.03. Okay, so number one, what is the amount of simple interest Barbara would earn? So Parker, what formula should I be writing down? I equals PRT.
I just said 5.
That's okay. All right, anytime you see simple interest, make sure you are using the simple interest formula. If you don't see where it says simple or compound, which one should you always use? Simple. Okay, so that'll be the next problem, does not specify. So if you don't see simple or compound, you're always doing simple interest. All right, Katie, what is my principal that I'm putting into my formula here? 1,200. Logan, I'm multiplying that by what rate?
5.03.
0.03. And Riley Blake, my time? 4. Very good. Paris, do you have a question? Okay. Enter all that into your calculator and you get $144. Before you move on or choose an answer or write something down, make sure that you answered the question. So reread it to yourself. Number one, what is the amount of simple interest? Okay, well, I know if I use this formula, then I'm calculating interest. So that is my amount of interest. So I did answer the question, so I'm done. If you want to write yourself a little reminder, that's fine. Remember, tomorrow's test, you are able to use these notes and the ones from Friday and any chapter 16 notes that you have. So if you want to write yourself little hints, go for it. Number two, what is the amount of compound interest Barbara would earn? Audrey, what formula should I be writing down on my piece of paper for number two? Very good. All right, Annabelle, what is my principal? Yep, same. And 1 plus 0.03 because it's the same rate and then same time.
I got 1,350 and 60.
That is correct. $1,350.61. Go back, reread the question. What is the amount of compound interest? Very good, Avatar. You have to subtract what?
Original amount.
The principal or the original amount. So yeah, we're gonna have to go back and subtract out the $1,200 that we started with to find just the amount of interest earned. Yeah, $150 and 61 cents. Guys, you are uploading these notes today. This is all we are doing. And then you guys are finishing IXLs if you still need to finish your IXL. So make sure you're taking notes so you can take a picture of front and back, upload it. Should be an easy.
If I didn't show work.
Well, I mean, they're your notes, but make sure you write down something. Hello. No. You're welcome. Bye.
What's
Okay.
that about?
None yet? All right, number 3. How much more would she make by earning compound interest on her account? So how would I solve that? Subtract them. So that comes out to $6.61. All right, not too bad, right? Hopefully you guys are getting familiar with like the types of questions that you see and whether they're asking about simple interest, compound interest, and then interest or total amount in the account. That's the hardest part, right? Plugging into formulas is super easy. You just have to make sure that you're answering the correct question. All right, Sherry is taking out a loan for $13,000 to buy a new car. She wants to know how much money she will save by taking out a 4-year loan at 10% interest instead of 12% interest. So we just talked about this. It doesn't say anything about simple or compound. So what do we use? Simple, which is I equals PRT. One thing that lots of people were getting wrong on K11 in IXL is as 10%, they were putting 0.01. What should 10% look like as a decimal?
0.012.
Yeah, you can either put 0.1 or 0.10. Either one, you'll get the correct answer. It's easier for some people to think like 10% is 0.10, so they'll put the 0 on it. But if you know it's just 0.1, then you could just write 0.1. All right, and then 12% as a decimal would be what? 0.12. Okay, so those are my rates. My time is 4. My principal is 13,000. So let's plug this in. 13,000 times 0.1 times 4. Yes. 5,200. Did I answer the question?
No.
No, what do I need to do?
Do 0.12.
Well, yeah, for number 5, but we're still on 4. It asks for the total repayment. I have to add the principal back in because Sherry has to repay the 13,000 plus the interest. So she still has to repay the original 13,000 on top of the interest. So altogether, she is repaying $18,200. So that word total, super important. All right, number 5, we're doing the same thing. Let's put it all together, okay? Let's just multiply and then add the 13,000 back in at the same time. So we're using the exact same numbers, the exact same formula. The only difference is the rate. Instead of 0.10, we're doing 0.12. So we are doing principal, 13,000 times rate, 0.12, times time, 4. And then remember, to get total repayment, we're going to add back in the 13,000. So we can do that all at once in our calculator. Our calculator does PEMDAS, so it'll multiply and then add. Yes. Okay, so if I enter all of that, I get $19,240. That is my total repayment. So a couple ways to do it. You could find the interest, then add the principal, or you can enter it all into your calculator at one time by adding the principal at the end. All right, 6. How much can Sherry save by taking out the 4-year loan with 10% interest rather than the 12%? What should I do with both of those numbers? Subtract them. So I have 19,240, subtracting 18,200, $1,040. So car loans, guys, vary from bank to bank. Also, when you buy a car, the car dealership usually has their own loans. The rates at the dealership, in my experience, tend to be higher than banks. So that's why people shop around for different rates before they commit to taking out a loan, because it does make a big difference, right? Especially if you're taking out like a 5-year loan and paying over 5 years. You want to pay as little interest as possible. Okay, on the back, we're going to do number 8 first on the bottom, and then we'll go up to 7, because 7 is one of those college questions. 8 is still interest, so we're going to solve 8 and then go up to 7. Number 8, Aaron opened a savings account with a deposit of $1,000. A red flag should be raising in your head. What is that $1,000? Principal. So you guys will not have a physical test to write on, but on your sheet of paper, you can write P equals 1,000. Do what?
Oh, I thought we were skipping 7. Yeah.
We're on 8.
Yeah, we're going back.
Yeah.
No, I thought we were like completely.
No, we'll go back to it. Okay, the account earned annual simple interest, and Aaron made no additional deposits or withdrawals at the end of 4 years. Here's our time. The balance in the account was $1,500. What does that tell us? The $1,500.
It got $500 more.
Yes, very good. So Aaron started with 1,000. After 4 years, there's $1,500 in the account. Okay, he didn't put the $500 in. The bank gave that to him in interest. So out to the side, this tells us that our interest, I, is going to be $500. All right, and then what is the annual interest rate? So that means we don't know the rate. That's what we are looking for on the account. How?
The rate, like, isn't it like if you do 250, it's like 250 times 4 is 500. Like that's the rate.
250 times 2 is 500.
Oh yeah.
Okay, how would I set this up? What formula should I be using, first of all, Parker?
I equals PRT.
Very good. I equals PRT. So, Parker, can you fill in our variables with numbers?
500 equals 1,000, and then R, and then 4. As
Very
the
good.
exponent.
Perfect.
Oh, no, not exponent.
Just a number, yeah. So, Morrissey, what is my next step? If I have 500 equals 1,000 times R times 4, which two numbers can I multiply together?
1,004.
Very good. So I'm multiplying 1,000 and 4 together. So I get 4,000. And then bring down your R and bring down the 500.
What I meant was it's 125. Because 125 times 4 is.
Yeah, but then you have to move your decimal.
Yeah, 1.
Well,
12.5.
No, I think it just happens to work out to be the same.
Is it
It's going to be
12.5%?
12.5%. Yes. Okay. Last step, Paris. To solve for R, what would my last step be? Divide by 4,000 on each side. Carly, if I'm entering this into my calculator, 500 divided by 4,000, which number should I enter first? Very good. Thank you. 500. I still have people doing that backwards. The top number always goes in first. So it's 500 divided by 4,000. You should get a very small answer. It's 0.125. And then remember, rates should always be written as a percent. So we move our decimal how many times?
2 times.
1, 2. And our final answer is, Mason?
12.5%.
Very good. 12.5%.
Can we just show your notes instead of submitting?
Yeah, if you're in person, you can. Okay, scroll up to the top. This one takes like no time at all. It's much easier than the one from last week, and last week's was pretty easy. All right, so number 7. The total cost of attending a state university is $12,000 for 1 year. Joshua's parents will pay half of the cost. How much is half of the cost?
0.5.
$6,000, right? He was also awarded a $3,000 scholarship, athletic scholarship. So that's money, guys, that he is given to help pay for school. He does not have to pay that back. So how much was he given total? $9,000. $6,000 from his parents, $3,000 from the sports team. Okay. So how much does he still owe?
3,000.
Very good. How did you get that?
You
subtract 12,000.
12,000 minus 9,000 is going to give us a remaining balance of 3,000, which is how much he still owes. Okay. Now let's keep reading. How much will Joshua have to save each month in order to pay off the remaining cost, which is $3,000, remaining cost, $3,000 at the end of 12 months? So he wants to save the same amount each month to be able to get to $3,000 within a year. Logan, what'd you get?
250.
How did you get that, Logan?
I just divided 3,000 divided by 12.
Very good. 3,000 dividing by the number of months that he's planning to save. You said 250, right?
250.
Okay, $250 is how much he is going to have to save each month in order to pay off what he still owes for school.
Are we done?
We are done. Okay, any questions?